And in the guest hot seat we have from Australia, from Sydney, Australia, the one and only James O'Rourke. James, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ian. How's it going? Hello, Park.
Not so bad at all.
That's the shot.
Welcome to the show anyway. So how are you enjoying your trip here in ButlersBridge?
Very good,
Annual trip.
Yeah, it's very good. We're a little bit of sun wouldn't go astray.
Yeah,
we're a bit chilly, especially out here in the lake. That wind is howling.
That's right, yeah, but the fish are not even popping up out of the water. It's that cold.
No, it's always good to get back to the bridge, Ian.
Yeah.
Go back and see the family and friends.
Yeah. In all the years, how many years are you away from ButlersBridge?
35.
35?
Yeah.
My God. I remember you up and down the Clonus, no, the old Turbid Road.
That's right.
On the Honda 50.
Yeah.
And you actually used to take us for a spin. When we came to ButlersBridge first, you used to take us for a spin up and down the road on the back of your motorbike.
Oh, yeah, geez,
and actually, the other day, do you remember we met you down near Tom Sweeney's there?
That's right.
And it brought some two people, I don't know who they were, went up the road on the motorbikes.
That's right.
So
yeah.
all the memories came flooding back. There's a Honda 50 and I think it's a Honda 90. So it kind of brought back, the only thing was missing, you had a green helmet.
That's it, hey, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the green helmet.
Yeah. That was what it is.
That was pre-Australian days. So, in the 35 years, a lot has changed in ButlersBridge, and I suppose in Australia as well. How would you compare, I think we're having going after a recession here. But talking recession, anyway. Well, there's a recession in the 70s as well.
There was, that's probably a big reason why I left.
Yeah, there's just no work. And I think it's a similar sort of situation at the moment because, you hear people talking that if we get laid off, we're going to get a job. And that seems to be a scenario at the moment. And as it happens, Australia is booming at the moment. And I saw in one of the newspapers there about 2 weeks ago, all the jobs in Australia and visas allocated.
Yeah, it's going pretty well, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a slowdown in the building game again, I suppose that's across the world.
Yeah, well,
but
I suppose with the American dollar and the recession in the States, it seems, instead of saying if America sneezes, everyone else catches a cold. So that seems to be the scenario there. But it's interesting times ahead. Hopefully the recession won't bite too hard here. And we will continue to work, and the Celtic Tiger may even revisit us.
Yeah, I don't think it's doing too bad. There's not much sign of a recession around ButlersBridge anyway, that's for sure.
No, not at the moment. I suppose
it seems to be doing alright.
I think in a way property is overpriced anyway. So
definitely, yeah. The younger people didn't have a chance.
No, they really did.
The best thing ever happened, I think, was the bubble that burst.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, because
definitely.
The price of property just kept going up, and I think there's a greed mentality here, which I remember seeing Bob Geldof actually said that he thought there was greed and arrogance in Ireland that he found ugly. And I'd have to say, I agree with him.
Yeah.
There was that. So I think it's good, probably a reality check.
Never does any harm, does it?
No harm. That's right. So the weather's always a topic for conversation. We're not having that great of a summer here at the moment. What's it like in Australia at the moment?
It's winter, it's cold over there. It's winter time there at the moment.
June and July is
June, July, yep. And August is a bit chilly as well, but it comes good, it's September.
It's like July, August, is that like January, February?
Our summer here is exactly where you go into winter, as soon as you go into first of summer.
Alright, yeah.
So,
yeah.
So other than that, but still, whether or no, it's still always great to get back to ButlersBridge.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a big Irish community in Sydney, though.
Oh yeah, well now more so than ever. There wasn't that many when I first went out.
Yeah.
But now there's that many going out for the 12-month visa. There's that many people from Cavan, it's just unbelievable. And all over Ireland, there's thousands a week going out, just for the 12 months.
Yeah, well, they're getting the 1 year visa.
Yeah, and we've got a few Logans here from the bridge out there as well.
Yeah,
Porrick's out there, Porrick, McGarty,
and Brady lads from the streets.
Seamus, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's quite a few, from a small area.
Yeah.
But it's great that there is the contacts there, and actually, anytime Australia is mentioned in the locality, it's a kind of like, well, James O'Rourke lives in Australia.
Yeah. Well, Tommy Miles was the first to go. Let's go back.
It's Newcastle.
He's Newcastle, which is New South Wales as well, and I went shortly after.
Yeah.
And of course, that time when you went, they thought we're never going to see you again.
Yeah.
And people really believed that time, because you were never heard tell of again after you went, more or less.
Yeah.
But it was never like that. Tommy comes back regular, I get back fairly regular, so yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I often thought, we all live in a very fortunate time because, just as you said there, years ago when people did emigrate, that was it.
We never got back.
They never got back. So, people come back from the States for the weekend now, long weekends come back. So, I think we're very fortunate living in this sort of time. Is there, there's the Irish community in Sydney, and there's obviously the sports and. Is there the county things? In New York, there's every county has an association.
Yeah, we have that in Sydney as well. Yeah.
You're part of that, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. It's sort of dwindling a bit now because it's left down to the old timers like us to do it.
Yeah,
the young ones coming out now wouldn't be interested whatsoever. Which I suppose you can't blame them. They're willing to get away from it for a year, so they don't want to get bogged down with.
Well, it's kind of like in London there lately.
That's big, yeah.
They had the Galtymore, which was there I think from probably the early 1960s. And it just closed there a little while ago because the young generation,
That's right. Well, things change, people move on.
Yeah.
It doesn't time.
Nothing stays the same forever. Actually, to give us time to have a few more sips of the Paddy Power and the Budweiser.
It might be making much sense after if we're trying to now do.
I think we're doing alright.
Yeah.
But what we'll do is we'll play a song by Jerry Henderson, so we have to kind of work
So one is Frankie's on.
Good
old Frankie. He's the most reliable. There's been days here we wondered. Alright, thank you, Frankie. I don't know, maybe just switches on the computer so he knows we're listening and then heads off.
Close to the pub, bro. Start off in Tommy's next pub, actually.
Yeah, a good place for things to start off.
Yeah, and we were working, Lord Mercy and Niall and myself and Oliver he's in Germany now, and he was thinking of going. Jim Downs, Lord Mercy, he's gone as well. And a good few of us thinking we might just, rather because we all work at Jenkins, we got laid off every October and you'll be off maybe till March or April.
Yeah.
So we thought there's not much future in this, so what are we going to do? So maybe never too fond of the cold, I thought let's pick a warm climate. So that's how it all started.
Yeah,
and
you were the only one that went to Australia.
Yeah, I went up. I remember going to Dublin up to get the application forms at the immigration office, and of course brought them down and gave a few out, and I filled mine and sent it off. It all started off as a bit of a joke, really.
Yeah.
And we sent them off anyway, and about probably 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 months after, I got a letter saying, can you come up for an interview? And I came down, of course, couldn't wait to get back down to Tommy's again and tell the boys what had happened. And I said, go ahead, Bobby, you're joking, you never sent it in. I said, I did, surely. So showed them the ticket and showed them the interview I had to go for.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a story to that as well.
Yeah.
Terry, Lenny, an old mate of mine, went to school together and we're still the best of mates. So when I went up with Terry anyway to do the interview, and I was a bit of a rebel at the time, and had the old patch trousers, which was the goal, like from long hair and now the army jacket. Right. So Terry says to me, you can't win looking like that to do an interview. He says, clean yourself up a bit, tie your hair back a bit and we'll swap clothes. So here we are on a ButlersBridge changing clothes. I took Terry's sports jacket and tie, and he took my gear out and did the interview, and 3 months later I got called up and that was it.
Oh my God.
So so.
And what was Australia like, when you got there?
For me it was just unbelievable. It was like a nightmare, I'd have to say.
Did you know anyone?
I didn't know anybody. I was very much a homeboard because I went to England a few times, and the longest I stayed I think was a week.
Alright.
I done 24 hours at one stage, I was back the next day. I just never... I even went to Dublin and I only stayed 2 days. I couldn't stay away from ButlersBridge.
Well, maybe that was a good thing.
That's why I had to go so far, yeah.
Because you couldn't get back.
Exactly. Otherwise, if I had to go any closer, I probably wouldn't be back. Maybe that explains why I come back so often now.
So, when you got to Australia, did you know anyone there?
No, I didn't know anybody, no.
You just got on the airplane?
I got on the airplane and went. Actually, before I got on the plane, all the boys came up with me. There was about 15 of them. We all stayed in Terry's flat. Terry was doing his teaching. He was in teaching college. And he had one wee room. We all slept on the floor and all over the place. So we went out to the airport and we had to be out there for 11 o'clock. And all the boys came with me and we sat down and we talked, and we didn't have any jars at that stage. But anyway, something happened with my ticket or whatever it was, they couldn't find it. So they said, we're calling all the immigrants out by numbers. So we couldn't find mine, so I said, the boys said, let's go to the pub, forget about it. And I won't bother. And Terry just give it half an hour, and then see what happens after that. And about 5 minutes later, I was called. And I remember walking down this big gangway. There was no partitions that time. You walked straight down.
Yeah.
It took me about it felt like an hour. It was only about 3 or 4 minutes walking down. And I knew if I turned back and looked back, I would never win. So I thought, no, I'm going to focus on going down and focus on where I'm going to go.
Because I can imagine that would have been difficult for you ever going there.
It broke me heart. Like, I tried to get a baby for about 6 months. Like.
Yeah.
I remember the first day when I got there, it was just unbelievable, you know.
Yeah.
And that time, everybody used to dress up. And I had this 3-piece suit on, the tie, and I remember getting off in Singapore, it was maybe 40 degrees, like, you know, Jesus, sweat with the pump, you know, it's just all so different.
Yeah.
You know, like.
It was because, you know, I fly now and then myself, and you know, everyone's so casually dressed, but back then everyone used to,
that's right.
Your son the best when you're getting on the airplane.
Like, Lord mercy my dad, he used to always say, like, watch out for the people that could be having a go at you, be trying to clean. That's what I had bugger all. I sold my old bike that time, I think I had £25. That's all I had anyway. But I remember getting to Sydney Airport, and the first thing, they're only trying to help you, like.
Yeah.
And the bank managers come up to try and say, you know, you want to start a bank account, you know.
At the airport?
At the airport, yeah. For the immigrants, like, you know. I said, no, bugger off, you're not going to clean me out, you know. I was suspicious straight away, like, you know. And all they're trying to do is help you, you know. Like,
understandable, you know, you arrive from Ireland.
Yeah. And then
these guys come up to, you know,
that's it, you know,
financial advisors.
So, not that I had much to lose, knew. You know, like,
so you may not have been a good investment for them.
Exactly. No, it was all good. It was tough in the beginning. Like, I remember I stayed in the hostel, and I remember going up for the food, like, and I'd be a very plain eater, still am actually.
Yeah.
But the bloke behind, the chef, actually couldn't speak English. And most of the people there couldn't. They were all Italians and Greeks and all sorts. But there was only a couple of Irish. And that time I met some Irish people, but they were married and went to different quarters than where I would be going, you know. But anyway, this bloke got to know me through the rate of spuds. Now, the mountains of Moore, they used to call it. I'd point out to him, you know, more potatoes, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you like mountains of Moore. And so I go up to big food with this big plate of spuds. You know?
That's what they call the potatoes.
Well, that's when he'd been of Irish you knew.
Yeah.
The man couldn't speak English, but he could know the mountains of Moore. You know? It was so funny, you know.
But it's amazing just with a few little words.
Yeah.
They can accumulate. Or, what am I saying, accumulate?
But it's sort of, that was his way of communicating with me, like.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. You know, and there in New York, where I lived myself for a long time, there's the Irish community there, and you know, if you go into these places, it's always Irish breakfast. Everyone wants.
Yeah.
Because in Irish breakfast, the chef really doesn't have to speak.
Yeah. It's very popular all over the world.
It is, yeah.
Actually, we got that last year in Dubai coming through, and again we were a bit stuck for food, or I was, but the rest of them don't mind it. But I was looking for something nice and plain, and we seen this big sign up Irish breakfast, and that's where we were going. And it was lovely, like.
It's the same, you know, when you go to these places like Lanzarote or.
That's right.
These places where Irish people go, you know.
Yeah.
You see this advertising.
The bacon and eggs and black and white punting and the whole lot.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, you think you want to get away from the home thing, but
no, it stays with you. You are what you are, and that's it. Like, that's one thing you should never lose. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Be who you are, what you are, and that's, you know.
Yeah.
That's what we said for.
Just be true to yourself.
Exactly, you know.
Yeah. So then, you know, when you got to Sydney and that, you got set up with work.
Yeah, I got set up at work, and I remember the first job I got, and even the second job I got, I lost my tools, and I didn't know how to get back to the freaking job. Yeah. So I got picked up and then I had to get the train back, but then I couldn't find my way back to the job the next morning. So I lost my 2 jobs and many pairs of overalls, because I was doing the painting and decorating at the time, you know.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it just, you know, like, it went.
It's easy to find the work.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you how good work was that time. We'd be standing waiting to get picked up in the truck to go to work.
Yeah.
And blokes would pull up along the road and ask you what you were getting an hour, and they'd up the hourly rate for you to go with them. It was unbelievable. I've seen 5, 6, 7 blokes, maybe more some mornings, because some of them would be 40, 50s on big jobs, and 10 or 15 of them boys would leave at 9 o'clock. You get the paper on the way in, and at Smokel, which is 9 o'clock, you'd call it morning tea, we call it Smokel, and they'd go through the paper, there's a job, better money, and they'd leave at 9 o'clock.
At 9 o'clock to go to the other job?
Yeah, because it'd be better money.
Yeah.
But then it went, from that that was the early 70s, and then the very early 80s things went very, very bad. There was hardly any work at all, like, you know. And then I left the painting and went into Bricky's labouring. because the money was a lot better. I thought I'm only staying 2 years anyway, so. But to cut a long story short, things were really, really bad. That time, if you went for a bricks labourer's job, maybe 20 blokes would turn up for the one job.
Yeah.
So I remember going to a couple of jobs like that, and this bloke came down. I think it was about 20, 25 of us in the line, and I was down about 15 back in the line for the job.
Yeah.
So when this bloke came out roaring and bellowing what he was going to do to us and what he wouldn't friggin' do and all this sort of crap, you know. So anyway, what he was trying, he was really talking to his ass, he was only bluffing, you know. Anyway, one by one the blokes started falling off, bugger this, I don't want this, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Anyway, came down, he says, I want 5 blokes. And I don't know how, somewhere along the line I got picked on it. I think half of them went Randy. Big Italian bloke, but she was harmless, like.
Yeah.
And we had heard the paddies roaring before, so we knew what it was all about.
His arm
like.
was worse than his bike,
Yeah.
basically.
So anyway, he stayed with us, that was a Monday morning, he stayed with us for till 9 o'clock. And he had sacked 3. Well, actually, one bloke left, because he never done bricks in before, and his finger started to bleed. He says, you're no good, bugger off, go home. So by 9 o'clock, there was 3 of us left. He only wanted 3, but he hired 5. We never ever seen him. I stayed in that job for 6 months.
Right.
And he never came near us when he ever Friday to pay us. It was a brilliant, brilliant job.
Yeah.
And I only had 3 English brickies to look after. And we had just with a brilliant time. It was probably one of the best jobs ever on. But I got a better job then because that was just money in the hand and keep it going till you get something a bit more secure, you know.
Just a stopgap, basically.
But it was good, you know. And but the barking was just sort of wise out, you know.
Yeah.
But it was good, you know.
But that's what they do, you know.
Oh yeah.
You kind of see.
Were you not ringing back home? Come on out here, lads.
Brilliant. No, that's one thing I would never do. I'd never encourage anybody. I remember one time getting into a wee bit of an argument with that up in Cons. And they were saying, young fellas just asking me, like, should I go out to Australia? I said, well, I wouldn't tell you whether to go out or not to go out. You don't want to tell us or whatever. It's not that. But I would not listen to anybody else either. There was a man here in the area, he was a friend of my mother's, John James, Lord Mercy, was dead now, he was Scottish. He used to come down to the house where I bought now, down to Gillen's there, his friends of theirs. And when I said I was going, Mum said, contact him and, we'll see what he can do. If he said, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it on my own. So he says, he said, well, I'll send you books. I don't want books. I don't want nothing. I'll just go and have a look at it because you build up this big thing about it. You better go out and take it as you find it. Like, So I would never encourage anybody. For me, it was good. But there again, for the bloke sitting beside me, it mightn't be good.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the best thing I'd say, for me anyway, was the best probably thing I ever done was to go.
Yeah, because I would often have... I would tell young lads would often come up to me and say, what do you think? And I would use say the F word and say, go off to this place.
Yeah. Well, you just don't know, if somebody went out and went bad or something like that, like you feel responsible, it's a great country, there's no doubt about
absolutely, it. Yeah. But I think that no matter what it is, even if it's a bad experience, they will learn from the experience, will decide, well, right, we've tried it, this is not for me, or they will have tried it.
That's right. But preferably they'd make their own mind up on that, rather than you putting any input into it, like, has to go or not to go.
Yeah.
Because I've known people, my own neighbours actually, went to England 45 years ago, were never seen or heard of again. It's only over the road, like.
Yeah.
So, it just depends.
It's an hour's flight,
Yeah, exactly. It just depends. So it depends on what you want to come back, or maybe some people got bad memories of home or whatever, I don't know. But for me, I love ButlersBridge and probably I'll always come back to it. Like, even though I've got family over in Sydney now, I've got grandkids, got connections and family everywhere.
Yeah.
But I will always, as long as the old body will carry me back, I'll come back.
So you kind of have the best of both worlds, we can
it's nice.
Go back here and...
That's right.
And then go back to the sunshine.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There's something about the Brit. I think sometimes when you're living in a place all the time, you don't appreciate, and I don't think we appreciate what we have in this village.
No. Yeah, well, it's almost the way, people would often say you have to go away to appreciate.
Definitely. There's no doubt about that.
And that is the reality.
And like you hear young people saying, we'd be bored and this and that and this. This is paradise. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
You got everything around. It's just lovely. You got the country. You got no crime was the dimension really in comparison. Everything's just so good. The people are friendly. It's just all lovely. I think.
Yeah, it really is. It's, if you're to pick a place,
that's right.
This is the place.
This would be it.
Yeah, like I've travelled quite a bit as well, and no matter where I went, it was always ButlersBridge. And as long as I was away, and I was away for the best part of 20 years, but ButlersBridge was always home.
Yeah.
And when I came back, they just slot it back in and. It's kind of like
that was it. Well, it's funny. I was in Homemakers and I was doing a bit of painting here and there, and I'm talking to this woman, and she'd been in England for 40 years, And we got talking anyway, and she was saying about, and then I said, are you local? Like, 'cause she's a farm, or her husband's out doing a bit of farming, like, yeah. And she said, oh yes, we live in Red Hills. And I said, oh, I live in ButlersBridge. And she said, I always said that's where I want to retire.
Yeah.
You know, so it's from the map, the same people from Red Hills, want to retire in ButlersBridge.
Yeah.
But it is a fact that a lot of people think it's a lovely place.
And there is people who've moved to the village lately and built a house or whatever here.
Well, we've got to keep it a secret. We don't want everybody to know about this. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that. We don't want everybody coming here to spy it.
We'll have to get Professor Frank to black somebody who's work. Otherwise,
No.
Otherwise there'll be an influx of
We're after the watershed.
Maybe we are a wee bit biased on this.
Well, we probably are, which are probably rightfully so.
Yes, definitely.
So I think because we have to recharge here and drink more pipe power and Budweiser, we might try and play a song. I'm just looking at the song list here, but we'll skip a good few.
Just a lucky dip.
To get to this one.
He's next, isn't he?
We might play. Actually we'll play Jerry Henderson. This Jerry Henderson, and he's a very good friend of the show here and a very good friend of ours. Writes some fantastic songs, and this is actually appropriately named.
Went to see him recently, yeah?
Yeah, he's playing with Tanglewood at the moment. And as we were talking about ButlersBridge here, this song is called This Town, so we'll let Jerry sing about this town. It's really about Belturbet, but for tonight's Jerry, it's about ButlersBridge.